What's going on, everybody? My name is Neil Fernando. Today we'll be talking about online bashing.
Online hate or online hate speech, as defined by Wikipedia, is a type of speech that takes place online, ergo the internet, social media platforms, with the purpose of attacking a person or a group on the basis of attributes such as race, religion, ethnic origin, sexual orientation, disability, or gender.
In this video, I'll be giving you 7 tips on how to deal with online bashers. But before we get into all that, some of you might ask, why 7? Why not 5? Why not 10? Well, if you think about it, 5 is kind of too low of a number, not enough tips, and 10 is just too cliche.
Tip number 1, don't panic. Anytime we see something on social media that's in contrast with what we're posting, be it a negative comment or disagreeing with what we're trying to say, sometimes we feel the need to come back with a witty reply, or we feel the need to shut them down, basically, right? The problem with that is, if we don't really think about what we're going to say, and we just go ahead and type on Facebook or whatever social media, and leave it out there for the whole world to see, the problem with that kind of thinking is that it's forever going to be embedded in the sands of time. And by that I mean, let's say, for example, you posted something on Facebook, right? And somebody left a comment that you don't necessarily agree with or you dislike. Immediately you felt like, I just want to start typing right away, giving them a piece of my mind. You hit enter, you put it out there. After a few minutes, you think about it, you start thinking about what you're saying, and realize, I shouldn't have said that in the first place. The problem with that is, even if you do go back and delete that comment, chances are somebody has already taken a screenshot of that comment of yours, or that reply of yours to that previous comment, and could probably use it against you. So, before you even reply to somebody who's contradicting whatever it is you're trying to say, it's always good to take a step back, dissect what they're trying to say, figure out what they're trying to say before you come up with a response. And try to play the response or the reply in your head at least a couple of different times in your head. Just basically run it through your head and try to see if it makes sense, if it doesn't sound too harsh, if it does seem like you're just getting your point across and not trying to attack anybody. Because whatever we say, it might come back to us and bite us in our own butts. Tip number 2, don't fight fire with fire. Fight fire with water. Probably up until a decade ago, the expression fight fire with fire made a lot of sense, right? Like an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's how the world used to think. And if you think about it, it doesn't really work that way anymore. Because instead of the whole world progressing or moving forward, what's happening now is we're too busy trying to defend ourselves, trying to bash each other, pull each other down, that we're not really progressing as a nation, as a human race. So if somebody leaves a comment that's contradicting to yours, or if you feel that they're attacking you personally, it's better to nip it in the bud. How do we do that? Basically by liking their comment for one, thanking them for putting out their own opinion, and ask them where they're coming from and what made them decide to say things like that. Try to get to know them. Try to figure out, hey, I understand that you left a comment. I was wondering if you could tell me more about what made you decide to leave such a comment. That way, these bashers, these online haters, they really have no choice but to either one, explain their side and expose themselves, well, not literally, figuratively expose themselves to the world, or they're just going to shut up. Either way, you win. Tip number 3. Put haters to good use. What do I mean by that? When reading a negative comment on social media, whether it be a personal attack or somebody that's in disagreement with what you're trying to say or what you're trying to put out, or basically asking a question, try to get to know them. Try to understand where they're coming from. So that way, the next time when you come up with a reply or you come up with a comment, you try to understand what these people are trying to say or how these people feel. The good thing about social media is that you can connect with people that don't necessarily like you, or basically the online haters. The good thing about that is you get to know them. As what Sun Tzu, the Art of War, the famous Chinese general, said, know your enemy. So what you want to do when dealing with online haters is you put them to good use. You ask them, or you try to figure out through their comments or by simply asking them, what is it that you don't like about me, and what have I done, or what can I do to make you like me? Okay? The good thing about that is, if it's something really good, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good for your own self-development or your personal growth. But if they're just really that bitter of a person and they can't really deal with their insecurities, well, they really can't answer that. And then that's when you'll figure out, okay, they don't really have a point. Tip number 4, don't hate, educate. The only reason, or part of the reason why a lot of people throw out such comments that is in contrast with what we're trying to say is because they don't know the real story, or they only know part of the story. So what's best in these types of situations is that we try to explain our side, of course. We educate them on the facts that we've gathered, hence we've presented such facts or posted or shared an article of sorts, and back it up with the facts that we've seen. Tip number 5, don't take it personally. People who leave negative comments and don't have anything real good to say, these are the types of people that have a lot of insecurities. And every time they open their mouths, they basically give us, or the rest of the world, an idea or a reflection of their true character. So if they feel strongly against something like you posted or something you're trying to say, let them be. It's actually a sign of them trying to reach out or trying to show the rest of the world their true character. So it's more about them and not you. So don't take it personally. You focus on the negative and you let it stay in your head, you're basically letting these people live inside your head without paying any rent. And that's not something you want to do, because that's just not good business. And by focusing on the negative, it allows you, or it prevents you from moving forward. It prevents you from developing yourself, because if you're always going to be focusing on the negative, no fresh ideas or no new thoughts are going to come in. Our minds are basically like a huge glass with a filter on top. If you let all the negative thoughts pass through that filter into the cup. You're basically filling your head or your brain with nothing but negative information. And once it's filled to the brim, trust me, no new information, whether negative or positive, is going to go through anymore because you're basically filled up. Okay, so that's why it's very important to not focus on the negative. It's good for your health, it minimizes your stress, and it's basically good for your own growth, your own self-growth, your own self-development. That's why it's very important when you hear negative comments or when you're dealing with online bashers to always remember to never, ever, ever focus on the negative. Don't put your happiness in the hands of somebody else. Put it in your own. Choose to be happy on your own and don't let anybody affect or destroy your happiness. Okay? You control your own happiness, no one else. Tip number 7. Publicity, whether good or bad, is still good publicity. The algorithms for social media platforms are actually built to recognize engagements on a specific post. It doesn't really read too much into whether it's a negative post or not, unless of course somebody reports it as one. So the more engagements that you have on your post, the more likely that your post is going to go viral. So enjoy the fame, enjoy the publicity, and don't worry too much about it. Because like I said, publicity, whether good or bad, is still good publicity.